Can you move the slides? I'm not getting control, so maybe you can move the slides to the next one.
No, okay.
Yeah, the slide is not working. Sorry. Yes. So yeah, next slide. So I just wanted to give you an overview of the content of the call, and I will then cover the process. So I actually, if you move to the previous one, Adrien, and the one before, here, this one, Competence Hub call main feature. So, okay. So first of all, regarding the Competence Hub, just for those of you who don't know this, we're talking about the professional learning department within the Academy of EIT Urban Mobility. So our ambition is really to close the knowledge gap by training the next generation of urban mobility professionals. So we focus really on the professional segment of learners. And what we want through the school is to identify proposals with partners that will help us close the mobility knowledge gap and develop the courses, the content, and the capacity building to empower mobility professionals to reskill and upskill. Next slide, Adrien. So just to provide an overview of what the call is about, it opened on the 14th of March with a cutoff date set to the 14th of May, which is the deadline for the current, let's say, opening of the call. There will be other cutoff dates later in the year, but the next cutoff date is on the 14th of March. And you can see on the slides, the idea is to have projects that can be either short or longer, with a duration of up to end December 2025, which is the duration of the EIT Urban Mobility current business plan. The total budget is of 2 million euros, and the idea is to have, around 15 or more proposals, with a co-funding level, which is of 20% in 2024. So for all the proposals that are submitted for the next cutoff, 20% is the minimum co-funding rate. For further cutoffs next year, you will have a minimum of 25%. And the financial sustainability is required only in some activities. I will now detail which ones. And you need to have at least one partner per consortia. So you can present a proposal just with one partner. Okay, next slide. So now I will review with you the 5 different activities, which are basically the 5 different types of courses that we are accepting for within this goal. The first one is related to the production of our e-courses. So as some of you might know, we have courses, online courses that are asynchronous. So a bit like the ones that are hosted on Coursera, FutureLearn, LinkedIn Learning, or edX. And at EIT Urban Mobility Competence Hub, we have our own e-course platform, called www.urbanmobilitycourses.eu. So you can have a look at the type of courses that are already there. And the idea is to develop new courses this year. And so this is a call to for proposals for this activity. We already have over 50 courses online. Some of them are also on FutureLearn and Coursera. And the idea of this specific activity is to request support for the development of new course content that can be complementary to the course content that we already have on different aspects of urban mobility and sustainable urban mobility. Our main idea is to have courses that will be hosted on our platform. So urban mobility courses, the one that I mentioned, but we are also open in some very specific cases to co-develop courses that are hosted within a university course platform or even on Coursera and FutureLearn. But then the idea is for us to understand the added value for EIT Urban Mobility Competence Hub of doing such a course. But in this particular call, the idea is to fund the development of an entire e-course. They can be shorter, 1 to 5 hour long, or longer, 10 to 20 hours. We also fund partial development of courses where we put in the learning agency and we host the course, but this is done through another channel. So the idea here is really to develop complete online courses and e-courses, either for our platform or in specific cases for external platforms. And in terms of KPIs, each course should be able to attract a minimum of 50 completions. So that means successful completions with some kind of evaluation. And so within the first year of publication, at least 50 completions should be achievable, and the proposal should demonstrate the viability for this. So this is for activity number 1. Next slide, Adrien. Activity number 2 is then relative to our applied courses. So here, in the same way as the first activity was really funding asynchronous learning and fully online courses using, the Coursera or LinkedIn Learning model, here from activity 2 to activity 5, we're focusing more on synchronous learning. So this means either on site, in the classroom, workshops, even mentoring, or prototyping, but it can also be online synchronous, so webinars and different types of online synchronous activities. Some asynchronous can be considered, but most of the learning should be done synchronously. So at the same time, so that you have a cohort, you have interactions with the speakers and the teachers, and you have interactions between the learners. So in this particular activity, the idea is to focus on revenue generating courses. So here the focus will be really on what's the business case for the course. What we want to do in this activity is to invest in courses that will survive the funding. So it's one thing to say that a course needs a funding for a few years to be viable, but what we really need to see in the proposal is a clear explanation on what the target audience is, what the course is going to be about, and how it will impact the target audience, but also in terms of in terms of business model, what's the revenue model? How is the revenue going to be generated? When will the profits be generated? And how will this course be commercialized? And so really the types of partners that we're looking for this course is partners with the experience of generating revenue by training professionals and ideally urban mobility professionals. So the financial sustainability, but also the revenue that will be allocated when the revenue is generated to EIT is an important part of this activity. And the idea is to have at least a minimum of 8 completions per year. And that would really be a minimum. We hope for significantly more. Okay. Next slide, please. Then activity 3 is also relative to applied courses, but is related to the new EIT label framework. Adrien, can you change the slide, please? Activity 3 is really about our new EIT label framework that has been developed over 2023 and is being finalized in the first months of 2024. So this is a new quality assessment framework that is being developed by all of the different KICs and EITs under the leadership of EIT. And so what this framework does is really provide a quality assessment process so that we can really start defining what makes an EIT urban mobility course different. What kind of learning outcomes should this course generate, and how will we make sure that these learning outcomes have been achieved? So in this sense, this type of quality assessment framework is comparable to the ones that the universities tend to do when they do a degree program, or in some cases a certification program. So this is something that more entities and people working in the academic world will be familiar with. So this is a new type of framework that is being gradually implemented and streamlined within all the EITs. And so this activity is really about generating courses that have a high potential to attract a lot of graduates that will both be able to graduate from this course, but also partners and providers that have the experience of developing such courses, but also that have the experience in terms of quality control, quality assessment, and developing courses that can comply with these more academic types of quality frameworks. So in this case, as in for activity number 1, there is actually no requirements in terms of financial sustainability, but this is really about making courses that will allow us to get at least 20 completions, but not only successful completions of the course, but also completion of the EIT label quality framework. So making sure that both the course comply with the framework, and of course the participants then are able to comply with the requirements of the course. So this is activity number 3. Adrien, maybe move to the next slide. Activity number 4 is actually bringing together both activity 2 and 3. So this is actually the future of what we want to develop in the Competence Hub. It might not happen straight away because on the one side, we do want to look at courses that can generate significant revenue. And we also want to, of course, have courses that are compliant with the EIT label. But if some of you actually have the needed experience, both from a quality control process and from a revenue generation process, to develop courses that are both complying with the EIT label, but also have the potential to generate significant revenue, well, this would be what activity 4 is about. We are very much looking forward to developing this in the future, but as the EIT label is something relatively new, it's something that we will be developing progressively. But of course, if any of you feel that you can comply with both the label requirements and the financial sustainability requirements of the 2 previous activities, then this is where you want to present your proposal. So here we're talking of minimum targets. I also want to say the KPI for those of you that are more used to EIT terminology. For activity number 2, it's KPI 8.1. So really graduates from non-EIT label programs. As for activity 3 and 4, we're really looking at the EIT label program KPI. So if you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer them later on. And finally, the last activity, activity number 5, is about replication, scaling up, and further commercialization of courses. So this one is really about building up on successful proposals that were presented in the past. So really sort of successful courses that we want to continue working on together. So if you have any of those, then in this activity, what we can do is remodel a course, update a course, scale it up, open it to new regions or to new countries, translate it, improve it, make it, from asynchronous to blended or from synchronous to blended. So the idea is really exploring how we improve existing courses so that we can, push them to the next level. So, of course, this activity would be more for people who have already presented a course and have had a successful course with us. But if this is the case, then this is certainly, let's say, the scaling up part of the call that we're talking about. So these are the 5 different activities or the 5 different types of courses that are included in the call. Moving to the next slide, Adrien. So just also some, let's say, cross-activity considerations. On the one side, what's important, and we really wanted to emphasize this, when you make your proposals, just make sure that when you talk about the courses and the goals and your ambitions, make sure that all of them are described in a smart way. So, you know, if you're not sure what SMART means, this is a specific way of defining goals. I don't remember all the acronyms, but it's specific, measurable, attainable. I always forget the R, and the T is timely. So just look it up online, but it's important that you be very specific each time you claim that a course is going to achieve something, so that we can really understand what you're talking about. And this is something that the external evaluators will be really looking into when they evaluate the proposals. And then I talked to you about the EIT label framework already. So this really impacts CHA 3, CHA 4. And of course, if we want to upscale courses that are already EIT label compliant, then it would also impact CHA 5. But really what the EIT label is about is or at least the EIT Urban Mobility version of the EIT label, because in this case, each KIC has its own process to ensure compliance and provide the EIT label to its courses. We have what we define as a 3-step process. I don't want to go too much into detail, but there are all the documentation in the call link that you can see on the slide. So just go have a look and let us know if you have any questions. For CHA 1 and 2, you don't need to comply with the EIT label, so that's exempt. But for the other 3, you definitely need to have a look at what this means, because presenting a course that's compliant will require additional work from on your side. And I think that's it. Let me maybe, Adrien, move to the next slide. I think now I'll hand over to Anna, who can talk about the calendar and the evaluation and selection process. But maybe, Adrien, you can continue switching the slides, because it seems to not really work when we try to do it.
Okay, thank you very much, Gautam. First of all, I would like to apologize for not turning on my camera, but it seems that I have a bad connection today, and I really do not want to create other technical problems. So please excuse this. About the call calendar, as Gautam mentioned already, the call was launched on the 14th of March. Sorry, there is a mistake there on the slide. No, this is the submission proposal, the submission deadline, sorry. So the first cutoff date will end on the 14th of May at exactly 5 o'clock. So please make sure that you submit your proposal before that date and the time, because it's an eligibility criterion. The admissibility and eligibility check will be performed by the end of May, and then we'll start with the quality evaluation and the pre-selection by the selection committee of the proposals. And we'll have the communications, the final communication sent to the applicants beginning of July, together with some conditions and recommendations as applicable. And we look to start the projects mid-July this year. Please take into consideration the fact that this calendar is indicative, except for the deadline for the submission of the applications, because it depends very much on the number of applications that we will receive. If we can go to the next slide. The eligibility check consists of 4 different criteria. First of all, the application should be filled in. All the mandatory fields should be filled in. The proposal is, of course, written in English. It's submitted through the Plaza system, and it is submitted by the deadline that I mentioned. The applicants should come from EU member states or third countries associated to Horizon Europe, and they should be fully registered in the Plaza submission tool, which means that they have to have the partner information form fully filled in, and also they should have a PIC number on the EU participant portal. The co-funding rate for this cutoff date in 2024 is 20%. So basically, even if your project continues next year, the co-funding rate is one single percentage for the whole proposal. You do not have to change between the years. You do not have to change the co-funding rate. And in terms of KPIs, you should include the minimum required KPIs as required by the specific activity group that you are addressing. And in this sense, please consult the call manual, which is section 3.4. In case there are some incorrect data about the co-funding rate or the KPIs or the partner registration in the Plaza submission tool, then you'll have 5 days cure period in which you can correct these issues, and you will receive a notification as soon as the eligibility check is completed. Next slide, please. Some additional information, as Gautam mentioned before, this call is open both to mono beneficiaries, so you can apply by yourself or with some other entities inside the consortium. In case of consortia, this must be composed of at least 2 legal entities independent of each other. And in case you have any doubt of what this means, you have this link to the Horizon 2020 regulation, and you can check what this independent of each other means. Next slide. The evaluation, the quality evaluation will be performed by 3 external experts, and they will assess the strategic fit of the proposal, the excellence, the impact, and the quality of the implementation. There is a maximum number of 100 points that each proposal can achieve, and the weight of the external evaluation is 70%. All the proposals that score 60 points out of 100, they will go to the selection committee, and the selection committee will assess the business intelligence and how the Competence Hub team inside the EIT Urban Mobility is involved in the project, and I will come with additional information about this. Just in case of similar scores, we will take into consideration the co-funding rate if it is higher than 20%, the minimum that we require for this cutoff date, and the geographic or topic diversity. The maximum number of points that can be awarded by the selection committee is 20, and the weight of the evaluation is 30%. Next slide. If the proposals are pre-selected, the project leaders will receive the evaluation results as well as a set of conditions and or recommendations as applicable. And if these conditions are fulfilled, then the project can start, and also the contracting of the project as well as the onboarding of the new partners. Next. We can, okay. If you do not have a PIC, please register for one on the Funding and Tender Opportunities portal of the EC. This process only takes 10 minutes. If you already have it, you don't need to go to the EC portal anymore. And then register in Plaza. Please make sure if in case you submit a proposal together with other entities, please make sure that all the entities are registered in Plaza. If you have any problem with the registration in Plaza, please send us an email to the service desk of the EIT Urban Mobility, and we will guide you how to do it. But it is important that you make sure that all your partners are already registered in Plaza, just to avoid any last-minute problems, you know, with not involving a certain entity in the project anymore because it was not registered properly in Plaza. If you are already registered in Plaza, then make sure that your partner information form is updated. It is important for us to have the updated information, especially the PIC number. The PIC is the same, but the legal status, the LIR and the SPOC or the bank details of the entity. We can go forward. So the Plaza submission tool is already prepared. please make sure that once you enter the Plaza, you go to the Competence Hub Open Call 2024, because this is the place where you should submit your application. You will see that there is another call which is still there, the 2023 Competence Hub Partner Call there. Please do not press on that button. Go to the Competence Hub Open Call 2024 in order to submit your application. Once you create the application, you will have to fill in 8 tabs, and I will explain exactly what you should fill in each of these tabs. So in tab 0, first of all, it is important that for the area you select Academy, and then for the intended execution period you select Competence Hub Open Call 2024. It should be in the drop-down list. If you do not find it, it means that you are not in the right place, and then contact us and we will guide you. And in the segment, you should select 1.8 Competence Hub Open Call 2024. If this does not appear in the drop-down list, again, please contact us and we'll guide you. And then it is important for you to make sure that you put the right start and end date of the project. The start and end date of the project should be in line with the work plan, with the tasks, and with the due dates of your deliverables, outputs, and KPIs. Please make sure that these dates are coherent, because otherwise, we will ask you now in the conditions clearing to change, and this might lead to other, let's say, complications. As Gautam mentioned, the project can be up to 9 months or until the end of 2025. But for example, if you only need, 14 months in order for you to complete all the tasks that you propose, that's fine. You do not have to go until the end of December 2025. Once you fill in the information on this tab 0, in order to proceed with the other tabs, you have to press check and save. If you only press save, the information that you have inserted will be saved, but you will not be able to proceed with the other tabs. You can go to the next slide, Adrian. Okay. In the next tab, you will have to select if you apply as a sole applicant or as a consortium coordinator. In case of in case of both, you will have to put under the involved organizations, you have to put all involved partners, including the lead partner. For example, if you apply as a sole applicant, you will have to again insert your organization. And then you'll have to confirm that at least 2 entities are independent of each other in case you submit a proposal together with other entities. I'm sure that you already know this part of the application is the standard tab, where you have to include the information about the project purpose, the scope of the project, the exploitation and the IPR, and the relevance of roles of each partner. So I will not insist on this, because this is the fixed part of the application. Next slide. Still in tab 2, please make sure that you include the mandatory deliverables. In the call manual in section 371, you will find the mandatory deliverables for each type of activity. For example, the e-course documentation or the A-course documentation or the event course program, and you will find detailed information about what exactly we will need as evidence for these deliverables. And it is also important, and this is an eligibility criterion, the mandatory KPIs. As they were mentioned, for activities 1, 2, and 5, we have mandatory KPI 8.1, and for activities 3 and 4, the mandatory KPI is 7.1. Here, I just wanted to draw your attention that the knowledge triangle integration is part of the quality evaluation, just to for you to make sure that you insert proper information and you describe how this knowledge triangle will be integrated. And you will find information about this in the call manual in section 2.1, just sort of guidance of what we are expecting in terms of knowledge triangle integration. In the next tab, 3A, you will have to select minimum 3, maximum 5 self-defined keywords and predefined keywords. And then you will just press check and save, and you can go on to the next tab, which is project-specific information. Here you'll have to provide all the information as it is requested in each of the questions. I just want to underline the fact that you should indicate clearly the type of activity that your proposal is addressing, because when we are doing the eligibility check, as the KPIs are different, we need to see exactly what activity you are targeting in order to check the proper KPIs. And also in the last question, something that I wanted to draw attention upon is the involvement of the EIT Urban Mobility Competence Hub team in the different stages of the course design or delivery, or even commercialization if the case. Please make sure that you you provide the right information here, because this is part of the selection committee evaluation. We can go to the next slide, which is sustainability. Here, depending on the type of activities that you plan to implement, you will select the most appropriate type of financial sustainability mechanism. And in this sense, you can find information, detailed information in the call manual in sections 3.4 and 3.6.4 with regard to each type of activities. In the budget section of the application form, you'll have to create different tasks. The first one, activity management, is by default, and it will be for the whole duration of the project. So basically, the data will be by default inserted already. You just need to insert the budget which you allocate to this activity, and then for each of the other activities, you will be requested to fill in the task type, the task description, and so on. In order to include the budget, please go to the next slide. In order to include the budget, you will have to press edit, and then you will have to select the right cost categories where you foresee the money. For the other activities, except for the activity management, you will have to select the right start and end date of the activity. And and then you'll have also to insert the related deliverables, if any. If there is no deliverable related to a certain task, then you don't insert anything. If there are activities like the activity management, for example, and the project runs from 24 and also in 25, you will have to put the budget in 2 different stages. First, you select 2024, you put the budget which is related to this year, and then you insert another line for 2025, and you insert the remaining amount for the same activity. The budget key figures then will be automatically filled in based on the information that you provided for each task for each partner in the previous section. So you don't have to worry about this. But then you will have to provide an explanation for each cost category that you inserted. If you go to the next slide, Adrian. So for each cost category that you have selected, you will have to provide a proper explanation. The more information and more specific information that you are providing here, the less questions we will have, and the conditions clearing will be a much simpler process if you provide from the beginning the proper information about the budget. Okay, and the next slide. This tab allows you to upload any supporting files that you consider relevant for the for your application that might give us detailed information of, for example, course design, or exactly how you plan to your activities and so on. And here you have the possibility to upload maximum 3 files of different formats from Excel, PDF, or Word files. It is not necessary, this is optional, so it's not something mandatory. And after you have completed all the tabs, you have to make sure that all of them are ticked. You have this green tick for all the tabs. If the green tick is not there, it means that you have to go back and press check and save, and then the information is validated. Once all the tabs are validated, you will have the possibility to submit the proposal. If you still want to make modifications, you go to the edit. If you want to save a PDF version of your application, you can save it as a PDF export. And in the end, you have the possibility to submit your application by pressing this submit button. Once you press the submit button, if you go to the next slide, you will receive this notification that are you sure that you want to submit your proposal? And after pressing submit final, you will get this confirmation. And also you will get an email in the email address that you provided in the application. If you do not receive this email, or you do not have the confirmation in the Plaza system, please contact us. That's why it is important that you do not leave the submission of the proposal till the last moment, because we also, we are not available, like in the last minute of the before the deadline. So if you encounter any problem with the submission of your application, please contact us. Next slide. Okay, as I mentioned, you will be able to fill in the tabs 1 to 7 only after you fill in the first tab 0, and you press save and check. Register your organization as early as possible in Plaza so you do not encounter any problem later on, and also make sure that your proposal fulfills all the requirements of the call, all the eligibility criteria, and so on, and do not wait until the last moment to submit the application. And in terms of contacts, here you have the links for the EU portal and also for the Plaza online platform. As I mentioned, if you have problems with the registration in Plaza, please contact service desk at eiturbanmobility.eu. Or in terms of proposal content or any other information, you may contact us at academic call at EIT Urban Mobility. But on the call webpage, you have all the information necessary. You have the call manual. It is important that you read the call manual. You have the guidelines for applicants, where all the process of submitting the application are explained. And also you have some other guiding documents which are related to this specific call, like the 3-step approach, the guiding document, and the supporting documentation that it's important for you to go through before you prepare your proposal. And I think this is it.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Gad. I think we'll just maybe leave a few minutes if there are any questions. And anyway, this is also, as Gad said, a recorded session that will be included on the call website, on the call webpage, sorry. So then people can refer to it later on sometimes you get questions when you start logging into Plaza and when you start preparing the proposals. So all in all, you can reach out to us, Academy call at eiturbanmobility.eu. It's on the chat as well. So yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to write on the chat or on the question part of the platform. But if not, I think I don't see any questions for now. We'll just leave it for a few minutes. But if all is clear, then we're really looking forward to receiving the proposals and doing exciting new training projects together. And we're here to answer any questions you might have. Generally, they pop up at a later stage when we get closer to the deadline. But as Anna insisted, we would really recommend you start with the process as soon as possible, because we've had quite a few unpleasant experiences of proposals being submitted too close to the deadline and being rejected, and that's really, nobody wants that. After putting a lot of work in a proposal, what we want is to get the best projects possible, and we're more than happy to help you navigate this process. So no questions. I don't see any questions. So yeah, I don't know, Gad, Anna, anything else we need to add? Okay. No. Well, thank you very much, and yeah, very much looking forward to hearing from you and reading about all these new exciting projects and courses that we will do together. So have a good end of the day, and I wish you all well. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.